Perfect day, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, kings and queens, makos na makosikazi, and to all my gender non-conforming people. Hey guys, welcome to your greatest young show on land. Yes, I said it. This is your greatest young show on land, right here on Keith Ngesi Radio with myself, Baby Sihu. And in case you didn't know, now you should know that KNR is not your average radio station. This is radio beyond frequency, but most importantly, this is radio according to you, man. And we are broadcasting live in Vincent, East London, but we're not limited by the confinements of East London, nor of Eastern Cape, nor of South Africa. We are international. You can listen to us anywhere in the world by simply going to knrapp.co.za. I repeat, that is knrapp.co.za. And if you are an Android user, please make sure to download our radio app on Google Play Store. It is the Keith Ngesi radio app, man. And as I always say, man, you know, the Bible says it is not good for men to be alone. Therefore, I too am not alone. Not alone. That's why I'm beaming here. That's why I'm smiling. We have a guest. And if you are watching on Facebook, I hope you are, you're going to see her face now. Guys, I've been laughing since she came in, man. And generally, we don't introduce our guests here on the show.
Okay.
Because I feel as though you know your story better than I do, right? And I don't want to say a lot, and then you'll be like, girl, what are you talking about? Why did you have to mention that? And if I say little, you'll be like, bro, in grade 2, I got an award for maths. Why didn't you mention that? What's up? Mention my accolades. So I'm just going to give you the platform to please introduce yourself. My lady, introduce yourself.
Hi. Okay. My name is Ikho Gaushe.
Please come closer.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm short. Kaloko.
Oh, vertically challenged.
Yeah. So you get like chairs that are higher so that.
Okay. Next time. Anything for you.
Okay. Thanks.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Anything for you.
Can I talk now? Okay. Sure. So.
Why are we laughing?
Because okay.
Yeah. My lady, please introduce yourself.
I think I'll make myself nervous. Okay. My name is Ikho Gaushe. I am from Mdantsane, East London. I am a psychology student doing my honors currently in psychology. I'm a Rhodes graduate, and I'm just very passionate about mental health, sustainable community development, not just sustaining, but it's a development is sustainable that will be, that will go on for a long time. So that's me. I'm also very passionate about community work, and yeah, that's me.
You see, I wouldn't have said that, and I would be like, Ikho Gaushe, let's talk. Man, shout out to everyone who's watching. I see that Urizen Tembi Saza do saying good afternoon, dear Sikunya, till the end at Somerset. Oh my God, Somerset East. Please understand that English. Uxoliswa Mbumlwana is saying hi, baby Obuhle with the dark hearts. Hey, hello, love. How are you? Haven't seen you in a while. I hope you're good. Andy Sakeke is saying good afternoon. Everyone's saying good afternoon, and shout out to everyone who's watching. I can see that Umonwa Mani Nelson Katikati. There's a lot of you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And in case you haven't seen, or maybe you're not, I don't know, whatever it is that's happening with you, we're having a conversation with Ikho Gaushe. We're talking about mental health.
Yes.
We're talking about mental health, man, and I think it's going to be interesting. But before we get into the chat, I want to ask you, how are you? And not just generally, but how are you, like emotionally, mentally, and just spiritually, how are you?
How Dinjani holistically?
We're talking about mental health, and you find that that's one of the missed aspects of it. When someone is asking you about unjani, uyancokola nechomi yakho with your lover, with your partner, and they're like unjani, and you're like, we're okay, and they miss that you're not okay because they're not they were not don't psychology, come on, they were not come on, help me out here. They were just asking, you know, they were not conscious, can I use that word? They were not
they were not intentional.
Yeah, you see, come on. This chat already it's getting there, you see. You must use words like okay, yes, how are you?
Thank you for asking that. I'm fine. I think mentally I'm in a good space. Emotionally I'm in a good space. Yeah, like I feel fine overall. I feel content. I feel fine. Yeah. Thank you for asking that. Also, like it's very important to ask uba unjani, like being intentional about that question, because I could just ask unjani, then uti you're fine, ne? Uthetha you might miss certain aspects of ubomi bakho. So I might be fine emotionally and maybe spiritually.
Yeah, I was about to ask that. Why is it important to be aware of how you're doing when, as a person, just in terms of all those aspects holistically, as you said?
It's important to be aware of yourself, but it just being aware of aware of yourself, you learn yourself, you spend time with yourself, uba intentional about knowing yourself, so that uzoyazi when you're not fine and why you are not fine. Because sometimes you find that like during the day you're just in a funk, man, awuzazi uba utheni. But if you are aware of yourself and your emotions, you go home, you reflect, kutheni ndifile kanjena, and then you'll be fine. I'll make an example. So I was dealing with grief at the beginning of this year, but I didn't deal with it till now. So I'm a volunteering counselor. So like I was preparing for the session, and like I was just in a funk, man, and I didn't know why. So I got home and I was like, dude, why
am I feeling like this? Yes.
And I understood that I haven't dealt with that. So that was a trigger. So it's very important to be aware of your emotions so that you'll be able
to navigate
and to deal with things that you thought you dealt with and things that you hadn't dealt with. Okwesibini, it is important to know so that when the interactor now, I don't bleed on you game. Like for example, if you're telling me about it like when I know how I am and why Dinjayana, then it is easy for me to be cognizant of indlela endithetha ngayo nawe, not to project ezami ingxaki kule ngxaki unayo, yabona. And when asking someone uba unjani, I've gotten into a habit of making sure that before I ask you obuhle uba unjani, I make sure that I'm fine myself. I don't check on people when I'm not fine.
Can I handle that also?
Okay, cool.
Cool. Oh no, I'm just adding on what you're saying, that when you're checking on someone and you're not doing well, and then they tell you go about wins, and you're not even listening to them because you're busy, you know, just caught up in your own problems, and you can't even handle that. Exactly. So what was the whole point? How are you? And I'm like, I'm fine, because you know, I'm telling you my problems, and there's literally no reason as to why. And
exactly.
I was listening to you.
And it's very important to it's gonna weigh me down, and I should be able to expect anything. You could say I'm fine, you could say no chom dagoa.
I need to be able to hold space for that.
And then there's no point of you telling me about unjani kodwa I can't
hold space,
avail myself emotionally for you. So it's very important, guys, uba cognizant of when recipe space right now before you check on someone else. Check on yourself also. Check on yourself.
Yes.
Oh
man, listen, we haven't even gotten to the whole conversation already. She's dropping gems. You're hey man. Hello, hi. Unjani. And if you just joined us, I am in conversation with Ikho Gaushe, and we're talking about mental health. And for some reason, our culture today, also I'm looking at the camera. That's why I'm not looking at you. Otherwise, ndikujongile ndiyakubona up on the screen. For some reason, our culture today has made it taboo to have emotionally and to have emotions. Hey, one second. What's happening? Iko? For some reason, our culture has made it a taboo thing to have emotions. And we definitely are not supposed to talk about anything that is not rainbows, right? We can't talk about anything that is not Skittles. And there are way too many people who still look down on the conversation on mental health. When you say, hey man, for example, this other guy, I was having a conversation with this other guy, and I was like, hey, let's hang out, bro, on Sunday. It's like, hey, Buddha, I can't, I am taking care of my mental health today. And I was like, 10 week in Jefetu, it's just going out,
so
and I was like, 10 week in Je. And then I realized, actually, no man, Lomchita is finding ways in which he can take good care of himself. And this other guy was like, hey man, I'm anxious, I can't go out, I'm anxious. And we're like, qala nini mfethu 10 week in, okanye you'll find that at home, when you talk about depression, when you talk about mental health, ibangathi uyazirakisa okanye uyazi-actisa okanye you want attention okanye izinto zabelungu, especially if you went to your Model C school. So man, entoni izifunda abelungwini zintoni ezonto, or you're bipolar kuthiwa uyaphambana lona. Ligeza. And I heard that actually it's a sickness. It's you're sick, you're ill. So let's get into that. Mental health non lento lena xa kuthethwa ngayo on social media, thina xa kuthethwa mental health, I'm already thinking, I depression. You're taking care of your mental health. I'm depressed, shame ubraga funa uphuma namhlanje. And Upra was like, no, I'm okay, it's just that this is my rest day, I recuperate on Sundays and I take time to myself. I'm like, ayagowa le okanye city depressed highway too. Uyazi-actisa attention. What is this whole thing, if I may call it that? Xa sithetha nge-mental health sithetha ngantoni?
Okay, so mental health is your mental, your psychological, your emotional well-being, ne? So ke ngoku xa igowa i-mental health yakho, andithi mos ne-physical health, you're not well, ne? Uyagowa. So xa igowa, you're not well mentally. It is an illness, ne? Sisigulo. It is not something that you ask for. It is not something that you go and apply for. No one applies to get diabetes, guys. Ufake application form, yabona accept where uye ku-interview. No, depression, ma'am. Do you get it? Yes. So I think it is very important to educate, and thank you so much for this. Thank you so much for having me and for raising awareness about this whole thing. Okay, so Kuko, I'm gonna highlight the most common disorders around us young people, especially in this day and age. Like, Goa guys, life is tough. There's been COVID. We're literally trying to navigate a future year to end this uncertain time. There's so much uncertainty. There's so much pressure. Because you want to get somewhere. Unale picture when in wondering about, okay, by this age I
need to be here. Yes.
And all of those things not happening can be quite stressful. So today I want to talk about anxiety, depression, PTSD, and bipolar.
These are all common amongst young people.
Yes.
Ne? Okay.
So indoni depression, ne? Depression is a constant feeling of severe sadness. We're sad from time to time, just like everyone else. There are things that make us sad, but when it is constantly there, the sadness, and it can literally ube disabled. It's a sickness. Iyakwazi uba disability when it's severe. Because when you have severe depression, you're unable to get out of bed. You don't want to spend time with other people. And mostly mental health sickness iyakwazi uziveza emzimbeni in your physical being. Your physical health yakho it deteriorated because you're not feeling well. You're not well mentally. Yeah, but
I know for a fact that, for example, when I'm sad or okay, let's use sadness. When I'm sad, I can't eat.
Yeah.
And when I don't eat, yeah,
you
see that
you don't have any energy, and like you no longer enjoy all of those things that you used to enjoy. Awufuni ntoman, like awufuni nix, you just want to be alone. And I can't stress this enough. Mental health illnesses isolate people. You feel so alone.
Yeah.
And I think that's what makes it worse. And it depression, it whispers toxic things, and it preys on your insecurities. It preys on izinto that you haven't done. It preys on your fears. You say, for example, let's say you feel worthless now depressed.
Yes.
Sometimes you're going to feel suicidal. So you feel like, I'm not good enough. Nah, I'll never achieve anything about me. If you get depression useless, you didn't do this, you didn't do that. So who are you?
Does not washing, dishes translate to you being useless and worthless?
You're like, I didn't get that job. It whispers things that make it worse. So you feel deeper and deeper into it. So yeah, that's what depression is. And you can get help, guys. Please get help. We'll speak later on how umtu can show up for a friend or whoever is suffering from an illness. Yes, but please do get help. Anything can cause a depression. Like anything, it can be a trauma. You were neglected by your parents.
Wait, are you telling me that at my big age, I could be depressed because of something that happened at 7 years old?
Yes, ma'am. Amen. So it could be a major event that changed Ubombak. For example, losing a job. Now you have all these responsibilities. You have zonke as the expenses that you basically you can't afford your life. So now it's very easy to slip into depression. And like I said, depression whispers is in the hole. So you lose your job, you're no longer able to provide. You're useless, you're not worthy of anything. So yeah, depression is very dangerous. It's very inzima, man. Because when you are depressed, you're not able to do anything, right? So you don't show up for work. You don't complete your tasks because you can't concentrate. You're constantly tired. Now you look like you're complacent at work. Obuse doesn't show up for her shows. She no longer does her work. And it just leads to and that's the dangerous thing about depression.
This other day, I remember this other post was shared on Facebook, and this lady was like, "Man, I'm feeling sad because I lost my best friend, right? But I'm not depressed. I'm just sad. But people are telling me that I'm depressed. Depressed, dude, it's not depression. And even if it was, it's okay. It's understandable. I lost my friend, so I could be depressed. It's okay. But now people are so much like projecting on me, but because I lost my friend now, depressed. So how do I know ukubana it's not just sadness? It's not just sadness that's making me feel this way. How do I know it's depression? Do I necessarily need to talk to a therapist, see someone professionally to be aware that it's depression? Or based on the things that you've shared, then okay, I can look and see, this is depression?
I can't stress this enough. You can't diagnose yourself. You
So-
can't diagnose the next person.
Okay.
It is very dangerous. Like,
So andikwazi ukubona ngongqombe hayi jonga
hayi,
mani
ngugqirha
intoni
kabani kaloku sana.
hama ndiyakubona mani kudala usethi nayizolo depressed wena
No, you can't tell me. You might tell me that you have signs of depression.
Okay.
Right, obuhle.
Okay.
I've been seeing that you've been very sad. Please try to get help.
Okay.
Yeah, but you can't just diagnose someone. You diagnose and then what? Because also it's England is a very powerful weapon.
I like
guys.
that.
It's a very powerful weapon. So the words that you speak, I might internalize. Maybe I don't have depression, but the moment you say I have depression, now I'm going to think, I have depression. And there's miseducation, man, against mental health. So it's very important, guys. If you see someone struggling mentally and emotionally, do not diagnose the person yourself, because you're going to diagnose the person and then utini. You are not going to help. You might be. It's just very dangerous. Just
they're depressed
don't do it.
now. What?
Just abort mission.
Okay.
So like I said, I'm going to see you struggling. So you say, no man, I've been seeing that you haven't been grand ever since you lost your friend. So please go see someone. Please go talk to someone. Please seek help. Also remember, grief is very intense. Loss is very, it's a vile and it's a raw emotion, and it can cripple you. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're depressed and grieve. Because now uboma busafani. I think of all of those things. So it's very important to guard against that. Now, don't diagnose yourself. If you see that as symptoms, there's sadness, you're not interested in anything, you're just sad.
Also, it's possible to have the symptoms of depression and not be depressed.
Yes.
Okay.
Because remember, you will feel sad when someone has passed on. Like it's a thing. And grief, loss, manifests itself in so many different ways, and our body reacts different. So it is possible to have symptoms and not have that thing. Just like any other illness, man, you can literally have symptoms diagnose, but it's not actually it.
Yes.
So please be careful of Dr. Google. No, not doctor, everyone else.
Not Dr. Social Media, not Dr. Facebook.
No one has the right to diagnose you professional, whether it's a medical doctor, whether it's a psychiatrist or whoever. Go seek help. If you see that consistently, right, please seek help or ask someone, okay, how can I navigate in this and this and that? Please ask for help. And if someone has a mental illness and is a danger to themselves and then only then you can go seek help on their behalf. But diagnose it when you're not the doctor. But you go and seek help for them so that they get helped. Because we're trying to avoid having a situation where I diagnose you and you don't get any help. Yeah.
So do I need a reason to be depressed? Do I need to experience loss or just go through a tough time in my life? Do you need a reason for that? Okanye, you can just be depressed.
Usually there's a reason.
Okay.
But there are different reasons. As fun, it doesn't have to be loss. It doesn't have to be. It can be anything, man. Like literally anything. But you can slip into depression. Like mental illness is not.
There's no blanket approach to it.
Yes, okay. It's not black and white. You can just be sick. You can be ill, and kungabikho but you are ill. And the important thing is that moving forward, you seek help. Okanye, those that are around you, encourage you to seek help.
Hey, Ikho, I'm laughing, man. And I have good, happy moments.
Yes,
am I still depressed? What is this? Why is it a on and off? An on and off switch. What's happening with my English today? why am I happy all of a sudden? I'm
Yeah.
sad.
Yeah.
Is my depression not real enough now when I can be happy? And then next thing you know,
Um, remember that depression is a mood disorder. Ne?
mm,
So you're feeling very sad. Sadness yakho
yeah,
iphezulu. But when a person is depressed does not mean that they are not able to love. You will have good days.
mm,
Yabon. You'll have good days. You'll have a day where you laugh. Yabon. Um,
mm,
and then it will just be on like certain days, if not
mm,
most, because depression is most days, ne?
mm.
Most days, not yonke, most days. And
So
on
it's not necessarily a personality trait, but hey,
exactly, you
mm,
are not depression when
mm,
as an individual. So you'll be happy sometimes. You'll be happy when you're around people, but also wait upon you alone, and those thoughts start creeping in because depression consists of thoughts as the negative and your mind whispering things to
mm,
you. I'm going to tell you something. You don't have to believe everything that your mind tells you, guys. Like depression is real. Your depression is valid. Your depression is valid. But going forward, how do we fight this depression? How do we get help? Also, it's very important to have people that are supportive around you because imagine now you're having your mind whisper negative things or
and
you
you're
need
all alone.
you need to
Mm,
always to tell you you are something you're lifting my mood up. Now I
mm,
don't always feel worthless when you see me doing something great. Oh no, man. Oh, you did well. Yabon, like those things, it's very important, and people to affirm you that no, you're fine, you're going to be okay, you're doing okay, you're trying, just to dilute negative thoughts
mm,
that your mind tells you. And
yeah.
I would strongly advise therapy because then Anitamos, you meet your
Okay,
therapist
okay, wait,
regularly.
wait.
Okay.
You are getting into part two of the conversation now,
Ooh, I
and
talk too
the
much.
news are about to be on in the next 2 minutes. So let's quickly prepare for that. I think we'll resume the chat in part two of the discussion in the next hour.
Okay.
So I'll just save this one. If you're watching on Facebook, you can come back to it if you just watched, or you can just catch us on the next one. I think it will be around 5 minutes past one, 10 past 1. That's when we'll be beginning with the next chat. We're going to save this broadcast for now and then just, go on with the news, and we will be back. I like where we are going with this.
No, I like it. I was getting carried away, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah. Listen,
I'm
listen.
I'm within.
Ah,